Okay. Yeah, so this is our second call regarding Pakistan with Giving University, and we are here with the team, as well as one of our nonprofit partners, Ananias House. Will Duggan is on the call as well. So we'll hear from Will in a little bit. I'll go through the schedule and then answer any questions that you guys might have. So with that said, let me let you two introduce yourselves, Dallin and Theo, and then we'll let Will talk for a bit. So where you're from, why you want to take this trip.
All right. I guess I'll start. I'm from a couple different places, but right now I'm living in Southern California. I'm currently directly under Beth's office right now. And I'm, yeah, I'm really excited to take this trip because it feels like a pretty big leap outside of my comfort zone. And that's exactly why I want to do it. Um, it seems like the perfect opportunity to really push my boundaries and to help others while doing it.
Yeah. I don't want to disclose too much of what you've shared with me, but you brought up a really good point. So maybe even we can have William kind of discuss it since he's been there, is just kind of the emotional impact that these kinds of trips have on everybody. I think there's always that wondering, well, how am I going to be changed and what will happen to me and can I overcome it and will I be okay? So we'll talk about that a little bit. Jamie, welcome. We're just getting through introductions. We'll go to Dallin next and then we'll go to Jamie and we'll have Will talk. Go ahead, Dallin.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Dallin. I am from Provo, Utah. So, um, yeah, it's interesting where I'm from. It's kind of nicknamed Happy Valley. It's a pretty, it's just kind of tucked into the mountains and not a lot happens. And, um, it's pretty quiet. So kind of like Theo, like this definitely pushes myself out of my comfort zone. When I heard about it, I was like, no way, I can't believe like that kind of stuff is going on in the world. Like it just felt so like, I don't know, foreign to me. And I wanted to kind of go experience firsthand exactly what's happening and to kind of gain a better perspective on how I can use my abilities to help other people in situations like that. And I think this trip would be the perfect opportunity for me to gain that perspective. So that's kind of why I want to go. That's when I heard about it, I was excited about it. So
And hopefully you like curry.
yeah, I do.
I was gonna say, and if you don't, you'll get a smattering of curry. Yeah. Thank you. Good input. Being that you two are the youngest on the team, it will definitely be impactful for sure. You will never forget it. And I think not that you will, I think you'll always have a soft spot for people, in a marginalized situation from here on out. But I definitely think, definitely worth it. Anyway, Jamie, let's hear from you, who is a well-traveled human being.
Hi. And I'm not, I think I probably missed the part about what we're sharing, but I'm
Where
going to
you're
pick up.
from and why you want to go on this trip.
Great. My name is Jamie. I live in Denver, Colorado. Since Beth mentioned age, I'm probably the oldest person. And it's really intriguing to me. I traveled a lot in my 20s. I'm a mom of two now, and my life is very different from what it looked like then. But it was deeply impactful for me to go to far stretches of the world and really see how the majority of the world lives, and that my life is very privileged and different than that. So that's why I feel really drawn to this particular trip.
Oh, I lost my video. Yep. I don't know that she'll be the oldest. What makes you think I'm younger than you?
I just have a feeling.
No, I'll confess right now. So I'm the same age as Theo's mom, who's having a birthday, who's 60. So
Oh my God, Beth, you look amazing.
it's the purple hair. Trust me, I have wrinkles. Theo can
Well,
attest to it.
I'm getting purple hair then. I'm gonna do it.
Let's just all jump in. So I will give my 2 cents on. Obviously, I live in Southern California. I oversee the activities of the Giving University, mostly kind of like I don't know. Steve Bray, the founder, has called me two things. He says he's called me a Sherpa before, and I don't know if you know what a Sherpa is. The Sherpa is the one that goes up the face of the mountain first and puts in the spikes to hold, the ropes. And then he's also called me a bus driver. And I don't think he was very kind when he said I was a bus driver. I think it was more like, gosh, you're bossy. Um, so that's kind of the role I fill in multiple ways. I lead the trips for sure. I teach, which is just such a huge, amazing opportunity to do. And I think taking people like you out to countries that are different, way outside of our comfort zone. Every single trip, I am personally challenged, and I've come to the conclusion that it's not about my comfort. It's about what experience we're going to have when we go and why we should go. And this will be my 15th trip with Giving University since starting 7.5 years ago. And I like going just because of who I get to meet and interact with. And I think my biggest joy is watching all of you have an experience, kind of like a fly on the wall sort of aspect or perspective. So I'm excited to go with y'all again. This will be great. My second time going to Pakistan, get a chance to see some of the things that have changed and even how some of our past gift has, grown like seeds being planted. We've watered a little bit with some funding, and it'll be exciting to see how those have changed since then. So I'm excited that Will can join us today. Will, um, thin threads, having gotten to connect with Will through another GU student, Aaron, who went with me to Taiwan 2 years ago. Aaron's like, hey, I've got this nonprofit. We're trying to do this thing with, people in Pakistan. We're like, what? So we kind of trickled a little bit of seeds into Ananias House. And then, a year later, we got connected with Families Set Free on a much bigger scale, which is really who our host is. And since subsequently to that, Will's had a chance to meet their founder, Mike Brickley, who you've all probably seen on the last video, and Thin Threads, right? So tell us what you're doing there, and even tell us, I know you're kind of all over the world yourself, trying to decide where to live, as much as what started this in your mind, heart to start Ananias House.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting me jump on with you guys this morning. And first of all, I just want to tell you guys I'm so excited you're going to Pakistan. It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to have an incredible time. It's probably my favorite place I've ever been, and also the most, third world place I've ever been as well. But it's an incredible place. I was just there in March with my team, and I'll be leaving on the 14th, I think just a couple days before you guys next month. And so I'll be on the ground there for 4 weeks. So the 16th through the 16th, I planned it perfectly to be there exactly during Ramadan again this year, which was not my ideal plan. I didn't know Ramadan changes every year. It does, the dates, but it's going to be good. Whatever we might think as an obstacle, God says it is not an obstacle. So anyway, yeah, I don't want to talk too much, but yeah, I founded an organization called Ananias International in 2019. We got our nonprofit in like 2021. But the heart of the ministry is Ananias in Acts chapter 9 was obedient to pray for Saul, who was persecuting Christians. And the Lord really put in my heart to support pastors in countries where they're facing great persecution. Uh, Matthew 5:44 was kind of the verse that I heard, where Jesus is telling people that he's telling the disciples to love their enemies and to pray for those that persecute them. And like that really just struck me so strongly. I learned about persecuted Christians from Voice of the Martyrs and some different organizations, and I just kept saying, what can I do in America as a white American male who doesn't face persecution? And the Lord gave me this vision of Ananias and how Ananias was obedient to the call that he didn't want to do. He's like, I don't want to pray for this guy. He's killing Christians. He's killing us. And God told him to do it. And because of his obedience, Saul went along to become one of the greatest instruments to spread the gospel that we know. And I thought, okay, Lord, what is this going to look like? Well, he has a sense of humor that he calls us out into places. And long story short, today, Ananias International, we're working with pastors and teams directly in India, Pakistan, and Nigeria. Those three countries are consistently ranked in the highest for being hostile to Christians, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. No surprise there. But Pakistan is sort of our birthing ground where as Beth mentioned, we have our Ananias House, which is sort of the hub of our operations in country, and it's kind of like a safe house. Have any of you guys ever heard of the LA Dream Center? Have you ever been out that way? And yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I have, but yeah,
Beth? Okay. Theo, have you been from LA? It's in like Echo Park area.
you can see it from the freeway. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, no, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Essentially it's a 24/7 boots on the ground. It was a hospital that was purchased, and so they do community outreach. They have drug rehab programs. I mean, it's a huge setup that they've gotten. So I've done small short-term missions with youth. I used to be a youth leader there, and it kind of sparked this idea in my mind of what if we were able to build these facilities in countries where there's a gap between what the church is able to do and what the community leaders, the Christian leaders are able to do. So our first Ananias house in Faisalabad, Pakistan, was started construction about 2 years ago. 5,000 square foot facility. And so when I go over there, that's where I stay. And it's under construction, but thanks to Giving University, they planted a large seed to help us with that. We've had other donors supporting it. So once it's done, we're going to have skill centers for women to learn how to do, quite intricate sewing, young people learning how to code, and, basically now with AI, even utilize AI. So there's that aspect of it, but also it's a safe place where we have rooms for families that individuals or families that have faced persecution that need a safe place to come, and we can assess them. We'll have um, what do you call it? Well, basic medical care, but also people that can come in and assess their needs from a spiritual level, physically, and yeah, so these are all things that this facility is going to do along from being kind of the hub for our operations. I met Mike Brickley, because we've been going to the brick kiln factories and rescuing these families, which I'm sure you guys have now heard about. And we've rescued maybe a dozen, I'm sorry, maybe, yeah, up to about a dozen families now. And so when I met Mike, I was so excited because he's doing this on a really big scale, and he's had high level meetings, and they're looking at making these machines, using machines to make bricks. And so my prayers of how do we end this bonded slavery issue, I felt like God was connecting, and he's making a way for this bonded slavery issue hopefully to come to an end in Pakistan. So Mike was a great guy to connect with on that. But at the end of the day, my heart as a pastor is, to be really one-on-one with individuals. I love discipleship, and hosting healing prayer, meetings. So in February, we're going to have a meeting, actually March 2nd. Um, we're planning on having 5,000 people attend our Healing Prayer Festival in Faisalabad. So it'll be the largest one that they've ever had, and we're excited. So I'm believing that that God's going to move again. So we went from about $2,000 in our bank account for this whole thing to in about 2.5 days, just random, not random, but people just came and they're like, "What do you need? We need
Mm,
to give." And so we are
mm.
we are beyond funded for what we need for this trip. And so I'm so excited to be able to see you guys while you're there. It just happens that we're going to be there at the same time. So
Yeah,
um,
that'd be
that's
good.
it's going to
Thank
be
you.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
we missed each other last year just by a short, just yeah,
And
short.
my geographic error in trying to get everybody in the right place at the right time, that didn't work. But nevertheless, glad
Well,
to come back. Yeah.
it's Pakistan, so you got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to kind of comment. So our team is quite mixed, diverse, faith-wise. Not everybody has a walk of faith, so I think it'll be really great to pull all perspectives into the conversation, right? I also, want to offer a reassurance to anyone who doesn't walk or doesn't have a walk of faith that there's no pressure whatsoever. It's more being a part of and recognizing the work that's being done and keeping an open mind and keeping your heart open to what is available to you as a humanitarian, as a human being, as a fellow traveler on this, in this world, right? To figure out where do I belong? How do I fit? What's most meaningful to me? How can I engage? And having those deeper life conversations, how do you find satisfaction in the world or in yourself and still be a part of something. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good opportunity to bring some great diversity and perspective. Thank you, Will, for sharing. I too am excited that this time we'll be able to connect. It's deeply meaningful to me to be able to have that connection. How many of you have seen any videos from Families Set Free of any rescues? I think I've sent them along. I don't know if you've noticed them or seen them. The Family Set Free website called The Cost of Freedom. I'm going to pop it up real quick so you can see it. I will put the link in the notes here. But this Cost of Freedom video was a documentary done by Crown Financial Ministries, just from the short perspective of their visit when they went this past year, 2025. I highly recommend it as kind of a precursor to getting yourself in the right headspace. As much as, looking into other organizations, and I'll pop those into a note for you, also in an email to share with you. So let me put that in the chat real quick. It is the Family Set Free website, but it is that video that's on the front and center on the screen. So give a perspective, Will, since you've been there. I don't want it to all just be me. If you don't mind sharing, what's it going to feel like to go there weather-wise, pollution. I've talked about that with everybody actually when we had an interview. How does that impact us when we go?
Well, the good news is we're going at a time of year where it's not over 100 degrees. So that's a plus if you don't like extreme heat. So yeah, the weather should be nice. You guys are there. What are your dates again?
We will be in country by the 20th.
Oh, the 20th. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, last year I was there towards the end of March and it was starting to get pretty hot
Mhm.
up into the 90s. So the weather should be great. Pollution, yes, it's a real thing. Lahore last year had some of the worst pollution it's had in years. It had kind of cleared up by the time I was there, but you know, yeah, you just I would say it didn't do anything to prevent us from it didn't prevent us from doing what we wanted to do. I brought like N95 masks, just in case I felt like I wanted to use them. I didn't end up using them, and I was totally fine. So, I mean, unless you have an asthma issue or something like that,
Mhm.
even then, you should be fine. When we would go out and drive around, you have the windows up, they have the air in
Yeah.
the car, it's on recirculation, and you can bring a mask and wear that if you need to. Really, I would say it's mostly just if you've ever been to LA driving around, and it's like that when you're outside, out and about. But it was different for me coming from I live in Metro Detroit, here in Michigan, so we don't have that like they do. But I don't think it's anything you really should be concerned about. I think it's going to be, from what I've heard this year, it's been much less in terms of severe pollution as it was last year, and I'm hoping it's going to stay that way for you guys and for me too.
Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, but thanks for that perspective. And okay, so tell us what's appropriate dress for men, if you don't mind.
Well, I highly, highly recommend, if you have the opportunity, to buy a shalwar kameez while you're in Pakistan, which is kind of the men's traditional dress. But yeah, I mean, the men pretty much wear jeans. You'll see them wearing jeans and a t-shirt, or jeans and a sweatshirt. Women uh, typically are, more conservative. Uh, you'll see some women that wear, not wearing a headscarf, but would say the majority do.
Yeah.
When it's warm, they, really light, like clothing. But yeah, just conservative, definitely. You don't want to be making yourself more visible than you already are going to be as a Westerner.
Yeah. Yeah.
You definitely get attention, just being a Westerner. And but for the most part, people are just interested, and they want to, give you, they won't let you pay for things in my experience, and
Mhm.
some of them want to talk to you.
Mhm.
Uh, so Beth, I'm not sure as far as your security situation when you guys are out. What does your security look like? Do you guys have guards
We
with you?
do. Yeah, they have
Okay,
a team of guys who traveled with us. Yeah.
okay,
Just for that sake, wherever we were going, we'd actually, when we were in Conneewall, I'm not sure we're going to go there this time, but Conneewall's more of a Orthodox Muslim, Orthodox Islamic area. And so, they just wanted to make sure that we were covered and safe. It just from a perspective of historically of Pakistan was set aside from India in the 1940s. I'm not sure exactly the year, but it was meant to be set aside as an Islamic a place where they could practice Islam. So that is the majority, and the reason that we can even like speak about Christians being persecuted is that Christians are what 0.03% of the population, right? And they have no rights whatsoever. They can't get a bank account. They don't have wealth because they're a lower caste, if you will. Even though there isn't a caste system in Pakistan, they're still considered of the lowest class. So, we're going to see a lot of that because that's the marginalized population in Pakistan. I don't know of the population. I don't know the demographics of faith breakdown. Do you, Will?
yeah, Christians account for about the latest I heard was about 1.9%.
Okay.
Hindus
Right.
are maybe 1.4. So Christians are the largest minority, and of course the rest are Muslim,
Yeah.
mostly a Shia Muslim.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Um,
Sunni Muslim.
Sunnis. Okay. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to have a cultural conversation. Some of the team on Pakistan, the Pakistan Partnership Initiative group, there's a blend of Muslims and Christians, and then even non-Christians. So it's a mixed humanitarian bag, so to speak. So, do anybody have questions for Will? And then I'll jump into the schedule really quick. No pressure.
No pressure, no pressure. Anybody a little bit nervous?
Absolutely.
Okay, Thea, fair enough. Hey, listen, it's going to be incredible. You guys are going to have such an amazing time. Pakistan it's an amazing country of contrast. You will see some of the craziest things, like five people on a motorcycle. And I mean, and then you'll see, you go up to like Islamabad and further north, and it looks like Switzerland. I mean, it's just a country of contrast. The people are incredibly friendly. I, as you guys will have security as well while I'm there. That took a little bit of getting used to having, armed security with you where you go, but it's really more just taking extra precautions. I had zero negative encounters with anybody. And like I was saying with to Beth, everywhere that I went, like when we would buy food or go to, a shop, nobody would let me pay for anything. And I'm like, please, at this point, just take my money. Please take my money. And they're just so genuinely friendly. Um, a lot of what you hear on the news, the media, it uh, makes it sound a lot worse than it is. And of course, I'm not going to say there's no danger, of course, anywhere you go. But let me put it this way: the pastor and his son that I work with, the pastor's new son-in-law just got married to his daughter, went to Amsterdam. They went to Europe. He was in Amsterdam a couple months ago, and he got mugged on the street in Amsterdam and said, I'm going home. I'm going back to Pakistan." So it can, those sorts of things obviously happen anywhere in the world, but I would just tell you, don't be afraid at all. It is an incredible place. And if you're used to Southern California traffic, you'll
Mm,
be a little bit more prepared for what Pakistan's going to be like because it's a little bit of a zoo.
yeah.
But it's
Dallin
fun.
may be like culture shock because he's in that Happy Valley, but Jamie is in Denver, so she knows what traffic is like. So,
Denver traffic is
um,
brutal too. Yes, it is.
yeah. Well, interestingly, having been to, 13, 14 different countries, the one time I felt unsafe was actually in LA in Watts when I had a team of teenagers that I had taken to a community center. And some local boys were having a little bit of they were sitting on the wall smoking, and they were very aggressive, and they were coming at the girls. And it was like a moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't protect these kids. And, you're trying to like get them into the van, and they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, just go into the van, please, and that was really kind of I actually feared for my safety in there. So I was always surprised. Yeah.
Well, can I add one more thing, Beth, that I think is
Yeah.
kind of, well, two things. I'll say, if you haven't already, you guys have some time, learn a couple basic phrases, like it'll make your trip so much better. Even just, salam ji, like hello, or, how to say your name, just like basic things. People love that. And it opens up opportunities and conversations. Um, you know,
What language?
so
Yeah.
so the predominant language is Urdu, which is basically the same as Hindi. So they're almost exactly interchangeable with the exception of, I guess, religious terms, and then the script is different. So, but Urdu is a little difficult to find on like Duolingo and some of these other things. So
Mhm.
I've been learning with books and YouTube and different things like that. But learn a couple phrases. It'll really help. And and the other thing I would say is, yeah, just definitely listen to Beth and the people at PPI because they know exactly what they're doing. And for me as an American going there for the first time, I remember um, just wanting to, walk down this street or go see this or go do that. And it was really just, and this is common sense. You guys don't really need me to tell you this, um, but just, yeah, just follow their lead and you guys will have a great time. You guys will be safe. And like I said, people genuinely are going to be super curious to talk to you. and want to come see you and probably take photos with you.
Mhm.
And I would even say too, um, you know, I kind of get in the bubble of being around Christians a lot. The area of where Ananias House is located is really a Christian neighborhood. But it's really great to meet and sit with Muslims. And the fact that we're going to be there during Ramadan is actually a cool thing because you're going to witness, iftar when they break the fast at, sun as the sun goes down. You won't miss it. You're going to hear every speaker in the city going off, calling to break fast. But I'm super excited, and being able to get to see you guys too is just going to be the icing on top of it. So.
Yeah, right on. I like that. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff on the Google when it comes to language comparisons and learning phrases and stuff. So, yeah, I agree. Plunge yourself into that. Thank you very much for letting me put you on the spot today and sharing
Oh,
your
not at all.
perspective. I feel like it was truly appropriate. So let me really quick throw the schedule up, and then we will go on our merry way. I hope to get another call with Ashraf, who I had hoped to have on today, just to have a perspective from, you know, PPI, Pakistan Partnership Initiative, and have him kind of discuss this schedule a little bit more. This is not set. And so even though I have Ananias House in here, I'm still trying to hammer out the exact dates. So we'll do our best. It'll to give you some give Pastor and yourself some advance notice to make sure that we've got time for our visit. Would it, and you can chime in, Will, would we want to spend a few hours? Would we want to take a meal together? What's the best way to engage with your team there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would love, to obviously, you're going to see Ananias House, you're going to be able to walk through and kind of see the neighborhood. That's not going to take a lot of time. So I was thinking, if possible, we would love to share a meal with you guys.
Okay.
And now we can either, between Ashraf and even, my team, if we want to go to, a restaurant and do that. I know, obviously
Okay.
eating can, you want to make sure we want to make sure we're eating at places where, we're not going to
Yeah.
get sick. Um,
Yeah.
but there's also an opportunity to where we could potentially eat in the church or at
Okay.
Ananias House. So everything that I do is located within, I mean, if you were to walk, it's all within 5 minutes of each other. So it's all very close.
Okay. All right. I'm going to make a note of that we will make that effort. Right now, I've got you set in the end of the day, so I just need to firm that up with Ashraf. So, yeah, so I know the dates are a little off. We actually have to physically leave the US on the 19th in order to get there in time. So, we arrive on on Saturday the 21st. It's early in the morning. Still working out whether or not we're going to hit the guest house for a shower before we get ready and depart to Faisalabad. We fly into Islamabad. We'll meet the team and right here on, number two stop. This is about meeting the PPI team, having lunch with them, getting their feedback. I really try to make sure that at the beginning of every trip, we have a cultural experience so you know why you're there. So you understand the challenges right off the bat, some things that they have to overcome and some of their projects. And so we'll hear from them first off. Ashraf is the CEO of Pakistan Partnership Initiative. He works with Fasik. There's Asher and Nabil. So we have a number of different team leaders, and these are team leader names, and they each have a different role that they play based upon the city that they are in and some of the work they do. Some of them are planners. Fasik is a Muslim, and he is really good at being a fixer and engaging and putting people together. Zwahib is also a leader in Faisalabad, and I'm probably going to butcher those names. So you guys will figure out how to best pronounce it when you get there. And so we'll be engaging with all of these as leaders. They'll be our covering, and they will be the ones who direct us where we go. So going from Islamabad to Faisalabad, we'll be staying at the Serena Hotel. We stay at a little bit nicer hotels for security reasons because they check visas and passports and things, and it's more for our safety than anything else. We will engage in some kind of service on Sunday. If you are wanting to participate, great. If you do not want to participate, that's fine too. We'll have an alternate option other than church. However, I do encourage people, whether you are someone of faith or not, to engage in a cultural experience of going to church in another country, just because it's quite interesting. You can even just look at it as a opportunity to observe and see how other people engage in the world. Then we'll have an opportunity to go to a brick making machine itself. So this is the commercial brick making machine that they are hoping to implement. Still in the works, but that's a lot of the work that Mike Brickley is now doing, is not just rescuing the people from the brick kilns, but to find an alternative. Bricks are one of the largest commodities that Pakistan has. And so it's really, you can't stop making bricks. It's more a necessity. A lot of the buildings you'll see are made from brick. They need something else that can make bricks, and that actually has less pollution. So they're trying to find solutions to help the country in general. We'll then meet one of the Family Set Free teams. These are the teams that rescue people. There are 20,000 brick kilns across the country, and so they will the teams go and identify different families within each brick factory to pull out. And oftentimes it's the hardest stories, people who've been in indentured servitude for 20, 30 years that they will pull out, people who have medical challenges, people with larger families, multi-generational. They're rescuing those kinds of people who have that need. So we'll get to hear from some of them and the leaders of the work that they're doing. Visiting Award Pakistan. Award is I want to say like an NGO that serves the people once they are pulled from the brick factory. So they'll have, trauma care, they'll have vocational training. So we will see different NGOs that function in that capacity to support the families after the rescue. We'll actually get to go into brick factory, perhaps one or two of them, be there when we pay off their debt and have a grasp of what it's like in their particular circumstances to see where they live. I would say that's probably one of the harder places to go into. And I know I've shown you all pictures, but when you're there, it's more meaningful when you've got this little child that comes up to you and grabs your hand and, wants to just walk with you because you're there to help them. And it's something that they would have never dreamed that they would ever be able to walk out of it. Then I'm not sure about this opportunity or not, but they have at times celebrations. It doesn't happen every time that they have a rescue, so we may or may not be able to tap into something like that. And then we're going to travel to another city called Kanival to see another organization. Again, I'm not 100% sure if Kanival is on the schedule, but I know we will be wherever there's a brick factory where they're ready to rescue the families. Lahore, again, another city that I'm not entirely sure that's on the schedule, so I need to firm that up with Ashraf. LFTN is Light for the Nations. They too, their focus is mostly on women and widows. Many women remain in the brick factory long after their husbands and families have died because they have no other option. And so they remain enslaved in the brick factories until they pass. And so this organization works with those kinds of women to pull them out and provide them with something better. They'll also work with women who have been abused and, rescue them and help them to the best of their ability. LGF is, I can't remember what LGF is, another partnership. And then we'll travel and see Society for Relief and Development. That's a community development organization, as much as an organization that comes alongside the families. We'll get a chance to meet some of the partners that PPI collaborates with. PPI has upwards of 80 different partnerships, which is pretty amazing. Also in here, I just got to know about an organization that promotes sports for a way to lift up the impoverished. It's actually cricket promotes, I should say, promotes cricket to impoverished. So we'll get a chance to see meet those guys as well. And then yeah, so I would say, I've got this pretty much some bones to it. Hold it loosely. I'm not going to publish it just yet until I know that, Ashraf and his team have actually, put the dotted the I's when it comes to this. But that's pretty much what we'll be doing. And we'll be going pretty hard every single day. At least one or two organizations will stop at and have an activity every day. There is a fair amount of driving because we basically make a loop. We go from Islamabad to Faisalabad, down to Lahore, Kaniwal, and then back up. So expect to have, 1 or 2 days where we drive, 3 hours in a van. Any questions or anything from any of you?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
I think the thing I'm most nervous about is the jet lag. Do you have any strategies for dealing with that?
I think we all kind of have our own thing. Some people will take Tylenol PM to make sure that they sleep. And then if you're a coffee drinker, the next morning, you get your caffeine in. I tend to just let my body do what it needs to do. So if I'm in the van and we're driving 3 hours, I will take a nap. There's no harm, no foul on that. And even too, you'll all have your own rooms, so you'll have the opportunity if you're like, it's 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, I'm awake. What do I do? You stay awake and let your body adjust. I think worrying about it kind of makes it worse. So I would say go with the flow. If you can take a Tylenol PM and tolerate that, so that's basically Tylenol and Sudafed, and take it, as it gets dark, and then go to bed and get at least 6 hours, you'll find that your body's actually going to adjust. I think it's easier going than it is coming home. That's where I experienced my jet lag. What about you, Will? Jamie? You guys have traveled enough.
Sorry, I lost sound for a minute and my picture is like a little limited.
You're good.
So
You're good.
I like the Tylenol PM method. I've also used that one myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also you're just excited to be there and the adrenaline is going, so you kind of, you just sort of run on that, and then you'll just be sitting and all of a sudden you're just like, I'm about to zonk out. So you just let your body do what it needs to do. Yeah, I typically try to make sure the first couple of days I don't have a ton to do. I know you guys may not have that luxury. Um, but yeah, same thing. Like I use more natural things for sleep, but things to help you sleep, and you
Yeah.
just you'll get through it. It'll be easy.
Yep.
Sleep as much as you can
Yeah.
on the plane. I've been looking at that fly kit. If any of you guys have heard about that fly
Mhm.
kit, um,
Yeah.
I've heard good reviews, but I haven't pulled the trigger to purchase it yet. So
Mhm.
I'm
I
not
haven't
sure.
either.
But I do know that a huge thing that does actually really help is staying very hydrated while you're traveling. So
Yes.
that can help lessen inflammation and stuff that you get that kind of makes jet lag a little bit worse.
Yeah. I'm not sure I have it, but liquid IV, I always bring that. That's usually pretty much my staple. And if you don't have it, I bring a whole bag. And then I bring what's called AG1, and it's basically a green supplement with prebiotics, probiotics. I will actually do that every single day, plain or no plain. That's, I think, the biggest dehydration's the biggest issue. A lot of people go, well, I don't want to drink when I'm on the plane because I don't want to have to get up and pee. I promise you, you want to drink and drink as much as possible, and take your water and just accept the fact that you're going to get up to pee, because your body needs that to overcome and to sustain itself. Yeah, I think it's called the Jet Lag Prevention Recovery Kit for travelers. You can check that out yourself.
Mhm.
I typically use a product called Kick-Ass Immune. So I will do this like 4 or 5 days before my trip, and then I'll take it during my trip. It's a herbal remedy. You put it in with a little bit of water. It helps boost your immune system naturally. I also use vitamin C, and then the liquid IV is great from a hydration standpoint, unless you've got something that's electrolytes without flavoring, that's fine. Um, I do bring protein bars. There are times where I know I can't or shouldn't eat. My stomach is a little sensitive to too much spice, so I do supplement. I won't say half my luggage, but a few Ziploc bags in my luggage are full of my things that I need in order to be able to make it through, to meet my needs. So if you have specific diet questions or things to prepare, don't feel bad bringing your own stuff. I mean, there's plenty of snacks. They have great like little bags of chips, and they have fried dough, and comes in all different kinds. There's fried dough in every country. It just comes in different forms. Yeah, so do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Yeah. Look for those life hacks, Theo, on, jet lag. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually my experience traveling, at least transatlantic, has been 2 days of waking up at exactly midnight, fully awake.
Yeah, which you may, the only thing we'll ask you not to do is leave the property. You can wander around the halls of the hotel or the guest house wherever you need, but read a book, bring a book. If you got a Kindle, put the book on the Kindle. And yeah, just snatch a nap if you get a chance. So that would be my encouragement. Other questions?
This is hyper specific for me, so I apologize. But I have a friend who's from Lahore, and if I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Anyway, if as the schedule's finalized, if possible, I want to try to go meet her parents. So hope I can talk more about that with you about if
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
realistic.
we can invite them to dinner if that works.
That'd be
Or
wonderful.
yeah, we did that last trip too. We had someone else who knew somebody in Conneewall, of all places. It was just so off the beaten path. And so we made it work. We invited them to eat with us, and then figure that out if, we can get you there, what's the safest way. But yeah, we'll talk about that. Cool. Okay. I'll make a note so I don't forget that. All right, you guys, that's it for me. Any other questions, please message me. I'm trying to think of whether or not we'll do, I'll definitely do one more call. I will be starting your visas next week. Will, when do you how early before your trip do you apply for your visa, out of curiosity?
So, I was supposed to be there in November. My visa expired and I just reapplied this week. Did you hear the visa application process changed as of January 1st?
No, again? Okay.
So prior to that, last year it was the Easy Visa, it was free, and
Mhm.
so they got rid of that as of January 1st. So the tourist visa is $60, and they just ask a few more questions on
Okay.
the application. Um, but I just got an email yesterday. They wanted my driver's license and something else, so I'm sure I'll get my visa at some point before next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I know they do ask a lot of questions, but they want us to come, and there are better relations. So I know they just kind of drag their feet sometimes. So
Well, yes, I was so happy they got rid of the fee, and then
mhm.
it was a few questions, visa in 2 days, and I guess they were losing a lot of money, so they brought the
Oh,
fee. They added more questions. So yeah, yep. Just be ready to roll with the punches in Pakistan. You never know.
yep,
It's not a bad thing. It's
nope,
actually it's part of the fun. Uh,
yep,
but yeah, so
okay,
you guys should be no
yep,
no problems for you guys.
Good to know. Okay, so that's the next step for y'all is me doing all the rest of the admin work. Airfare has been purchased or in the process of being purchased, which in Theo's case. And yeah, we'll just keep moving forward and we'll keep you posted. Will, I won't connect with you until we get closer and I actually have a schedule, but I greatly appreciate you hopping on today. Worked out well.
It was awesome to meet you guys. So, one more time, how many are going to be on the team when they come?
Yeah, there'll be 6 of us.
6 of you. Okay. Perfect. Not too big, not too little.
No, it'll be great. I think
Uh,
it's nice to have a smaller crowd. Yeah.
well, I look forward to meeting you guys all in person, including you, Beth, finally.
Likewise, I know after all this time.
All
Okay.
right.